Hello, everyone. I'm not sure who everyone will be, but hello, everyone. I just had my parakeets towels, and as I was coming in, it's like, oh, not the best. You can't really see it, but in a weird state of irony, I also wore. I just put this on, but I also wore olive green. So I don't know. I guess like today was an olive green day. Not sure why. All right. Okay. Um, this is more of I don't know where. Oh, this is like showing a little bit. I have not been in this room for a while, and this is no fancy camera, no fancy microphones. I did see I have to somehow set up my microphones so they're not that quiet as it was. So I did see that. I'm actually really hot. So but yeah, this is more like a hangout kind of thing right now because I just saw something big happen today. There was a settlement talk between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni sides. And I will say that, yeah, it did look like Blake Lively did not walk out very happy. Why would you? Why would she? And I think if anything, I don't think Justin walked out necessarily happy, but this is not I don't but he kind of has um sanity on his side. So I think he maybe was just more like, well, this is nothing new. Where maybe she, by some chance, thought that, oh, like I have a way to get something. Like, I don't know that she was that delusional that things would go her way. Um, but maybe it was neither. Maybe, like no settlement was reached. The only person I feel like that would benefit would be Justin from going to trial. I don't even know how this goes. So yeah, does that make sense? I don't know. Hi, April, and hi, Kialo Haley. How do you pronounce your name? Welcome. But yeah, so anyways, let me get a little bit more into it as I don't even know where I have everything. I was watching Billy Bush and Elsie. Excuse the parakeet. I didn't get to Little Girl Attorney. Um, I read a Daily Mail article. I saw Popcorn Planets and Shursty Flaws and Lawrence YouTube videos. And I have not many notes because we don't know much of anything, absolutely anything. So I will say, like I said, it is a weird coincidence that they both wore green, like pale olivey green. Um, my first thought was, was this kind of like the personal trainer situation where she, my Aru, where she sabotaged him somehow through like a stylist because they both look like they had a stylist. And I say that with I say that lightly with Blake Lively because she looked awful. Let's just say that. She looked awful. I don't know. Maybe this is like Gen Z kind of dressing where you have to look bad. Um, but when things are like don't fit you, I don't think that's fashion. Like that suit did not fit her. Like it did not fit her. Like the clothes that she has worn in the past year have looked just terrible. Is that on purpose? Because she did look okay in that one dress the one time, but I don't get it. I don't get it. Like it's because you don't have, like, even if you're like distressed, like you can't focus, etc. First of all, she can hire a stylist, even like a cheap one would give better than that. um and by now she should know how to dress after all these years. She has plenty of experience of what she put on. So I don't know what's going on with her style. This is not really important, but I think the media picked up on that, and that was the headline because that's the only thing we know. There was also Brian Friedman's comments too. I think extra. Um, Andy said, I think. Uh, so we'll get into that, of course. But outside of that, no one commented. No one. I don't think if this is 3 days, because someone was saying like up to Friday, and then Brian Freeman said tomorrow they're meeting, but for some other reason. Blue, my arrow. Um, then like why would they comment now? Because they don't know what's going to happen in the next few days. She literally goes on the laptop to scream at me, which the microphone is right there. So I'm sorry if this is too loud. Um, Mia. Okay. Welcome, Mia. I like both of those names. I thought I was tripping hearing that chirp. No, yeah, this is Aru. She's 3. Are you 3? Wait a minute. Wait, I'm getting confused. For some reason, I'm like 2021. Nope. COVID time frame talk, you know. I think I got her in 2023 or 2024. Oh my gosh, I don't know. She's either 2 or 3. I think she's 3. Yeah, and then there's another one, but he, she, it, um, yeah, not that friendly, blue. But yeah, Elsie made me laugh. Yeah, thank you for the bird comment, and then say that Justin looked good and she didn't do a good job. Yeah, I mean he looked terrible face wise. He looked already bad at the premiere, and he's only 42. I'm 40. He's only 42, and he looked fine. I think like a year before. That movie was stressful. He aged like Obama. He aged like Clinton. He aged like Bush. Did Bush age? I don't know. I don't know that Trump aged, but like he aged like a president, but a president that did 4 or 8 years versus like 2 years of a movie. So, and then this trial is aging him, I think, a lot. So he looked bad. Not in, I'm not saying in an insulting way. I mean, he looked like distraught. He looked like he's been struggling, rightly so. And Blake kind of did too. Um whether or not she's kind of delusional doesn't mean that she's not struggling and she's not like, stressed. So, yeah, I still don't know. I don't think we'll ever know if she really believes things that she's saying, especially like the text didn't seem like she believes what she's accusing him of, because there was not in the text that I've seen from other people, and maybe I'll get to those today, maybe another day, but it seems like this came like as an afterthought. Like it wasn't, the beginning was just like, oh my gosh, this is a clown, this is an incompetent person. So let me, like, I need to save this movie, Taylor help me, Ben help me, so and so help me. So that's what it seemed like. But I don't know, who knows. But yeah, he, dressing wise, she's on top of the camera. Yep, there you go. Annie looks tame compared to Otto right now. And yeah, I mean, parakeets are, they're crazy. But yeah, dressing wise, he looked, and Emily looked so well. You know what made me actually think start thinking about coming on tonight was Emily, because just their union, the way that they are together, and knowing. the little that I know of what they've shared about their journey, and I just think it's such a beautiful. Oh my gosh, you're driving me crazy, crazy. I don't know what to do with you. Um, such a beautiful journey of um. No, okay. Uh, such a beautiful like real journey of relationships. Um, because they talked about how they've struggled or like, tough talks and tough times and how they had to like sort of learn to be together, but they were committed and stuff, but it was still learning. And um I don't know, I just see her also as someone. I just love the vibe that they're giving, and the vibe that she gives specifically, how like calm and strong. And I don't think feisty is out of the vocabulary. I think like lioness type of vibe, if that makes sense. And I appreciate that. I don't know. Like it seemed like she was really supporting him and showing up for him by obviously coming with him at the courthouse, and that was definitely a stark difference. She's doing this on purpose because I'm talking to this camera or to this place, and so she's like, I need to be front and center. She does this when I'm on the phone too. Um, da poi. Da. Um, but yeah, so that was like such a stark difference when you see Blake coming in without Ryan. And these are my thoughts. If he didn't show up because of some strategy, so he doesn't get pulled into this lawsuit anymore. No, that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. If he didn't show up because of previous, penned in, permanent markered in commitments, that's also not an excuse, because whatever Wrexham or whatever can wait without you. You're not a player of the team. You're not their coach, so they can do that without you. Anything else can be done without you. Anything else, but being there with your wife, who you have been talking to everyone about, like how they need to support her, how they need to stand by her, how they need to, like, he is like her champion, and you know um has to protect her and all this stuff, and then you leave her. Of course, like, I don't know, I don't remember which person was saying on YouTube, like, he wouldn't be allowed in the room anyways. Aro, may. But they're not strangers to optics. Everything they've done so far is to look a certain way. So this was not really an accident. Maybe they just couldn't agree or whatever. I don't know if their marriage is really in trouble. I think they're crappy people at this point, both of them. So I don't know, but it does not look good, and that alone sucks for Blake Lively, to the public, not so much to, the case. Obviously, like, it has nothing to do with, what happens in the case and stuff, but yeah. So yeah. With how overbearing she is, I could see stylists and not wanting to work with her or afraid she'll make an edit they didn't approve. Yeah, that could be something too, where everyone's kind of backed up from her, and I know that was like a speculation had earlier, about like months ago, about how like either she can't pay a stylist right now because all the money is going towards the trial, or they just left her and don't want to work with her. Poop glitter or something. Um, so yeah, but either way, she can do better than that. I don't think you have to try that hard to do better than what she's doing, especially if she's so on. what the internet is saying about her. Like her outfits were criticized. You know why she might be doing this? I don't know what had her start the way that she started in It Ends With Us, with the outfits being, in a way that everyone criticized, fans of the book criticized. Um but now she probably is like, well, I have to like keep in theme, like I have to keep going um with this particular style of being unflattering and not oversized in a flattering way, because it's also like dress for your body, and she's not dressing for her body, because you can be like bulky and whatever, but the proportions have to match your body proportions, like crop top versus long or whatever. So, um, yeah, I don't know. But she looked bad. She looked worse clothing wise than her face. Justin looked worse face wise, which, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, we're all kind of talking about their outfits, which sounds so ridiculous and so insulting almost to me. But at the same time, that we don't have much to go on. So here we are. And it's also, I think, the first time that we see them in this context, isn't it? Am I wrong? Were they at the other hearing in person? Like, because it's only been virtual or like lawyers. So, yeah. Um, I think she needs help dressing herself, in my point of view. Yeah, but I don't think she would take the opinions of others. I think stress is getting to him from this, and it isn't good. Yeah. What's I don't. Speaking of stress getting to him and stuff, like I'm starting to feel like the reality of him working anytime soon. Like once this trial is over, let's say they win, he wins. Um, I still think one, because he needs to recover. Two, I think it's tricky because I think we support him, and maybe more Hollywood supports him than we hear right now. Depends on how much Ryan and Blake fall and how much uh I don't want to call them elite because they're not all that, but the powerful of Hollywood that do this all the time, that manipulate and control everything, and how much they lose power because of how this is airing out all that dirty laundry. Um, but yeah, I still think we might not see him work for a while, which I mean, I would think it would be a shame, but I would absolutely understand as far as like mental health and physical, spiritual health, and every health point of view kind of way. Um, I'm sorry if I don't make too much sense today. I should have led with that. I'm I woke up at 7 a.m. today, which I haven't done since I went to Romania and I had jet lag. And then I came back and I had jet lag. And so I'm struggling. I wanted to wake up at a decent time to speak to my grandparents, and with the time difference, that was like the best time. So I've been wanting to do that for a while, and then suddenly yesterday I was like, you know what? At 2 a.m., 1:30 a.m. or 2 a.m. that I fell asleep. Like, okay, no matter what, wake up at 7. So I may not make too much sense or just like go in circles. So please excuse me on that. Um, but yeah, so I don't know if he'll work, but that's right now not even in the cards until this trial ends. And yeah, which Brian Freeman said that they are going to trial. Andy from Popcorn Planet said that, well, he might just be saying that, like, it's not an official statement. He might just be saying that as a, because he feels confident they would win, or that's what you say to like show confidence or whatever. He did not say anything at all. He ignored TMZ. I think there's, like, bad blood now with TMZ and him. It's not been great. Um, I also think he might have thought like, oh, TMZ is like bigger platform, and yeah, I don't know, but I thought that was interesting. Um, I think stress is getting to him. Yeah. What's most troubling is how unbothered and stress free she looked, completely unfazed by ruining someone's life. I don't think she looked unbothered and stress free. Stress free. I think she's used to putting on a PR show. I think she's not gonna show up. This is the thing. I don't think she can show up as a victim. I mean, even Amber Heard, I did not watch that trial, and I was looking. Yeah, I think again Andy pointed out or whatever that Amber wore like men's suits and stuff and showed a picture. And I do remember though, like even Amber Heard like didn't wear makeup. Like I don't know who advised her, or maybe it was just her thinking this through, but that was a good point, because like look a little like you're in distress if you are supposed to be the victim of SH or whatever H, whatever harassment. Like, not to say that if you wear makeup, like you're not a victim. I'm just saying that look like look real, if that makes sense. I don't know. But on the other side, you can say that Amber Heard just like did that as a character. I don't know if anyone said that, but you can say that. And maybe people would say that about Blake Lively. But I think Shirsty was talking about how like it's interesting because she is supposed to be the victim, and yet, or maybe Annie, I don't know, or Lauren, because she's not seeming much of a victim when she comes in by herself to court, and I mean, looks bad, but not because she's not dressed. I had to stop and see, are those the same boots from the freaking dance scene and apartment scene? And just like she's obsessed with those, but I think it's just more Louis Vuitton or whatever, the Jimmy Choo or whatever has that red sole. Um, but yeah, she had to wear like really high heels to tower over even her lawyers. She had to like dress like power suit wise horribly. Not very power suit because it was not like very empowering. It was just like kind of yeah on her. So like when you dress like a empowerment in an empowering way, I feel like it has to like be very structured and fit. Not necessarily tight, but like boom. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Aru puyo just okay, sorry. And then no Ryan by herself, decent amount of makeup and smile on her face coming in. And yeah, like I don't know. And just the fact that she's not really like what has he done in the past year? Not much. What has she done in the past year? So like where's the retaliation of her losing stuff when Sony said that oh she's unhireable and she did this to herself. She's unhireable because of her actions. So where's the retaliation? Yeah, like anyways. Um, it could be a game like in her dragons that they like to play. Yeah, she was wearing at least one article of clothing to. Oh, that was Ryan's. That's kind of creepy. It can be so because I was like thinking, do you mean that? Are you speculating or was that said? And also, do you mean that in the sense that she was doing it to have him, like that was the way that he was supporting her, that she felt supported and that he was there because she wore, let's say, his blazer or whatever. Because yes, that can be very like symbolic and nice. And it can also be very creepy and like, wear your blood in a chain around my neck. No offense to Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton, but or like I saw Margot Robbie wear this bracelet that was originally made for, I don't know, someone else in whatever century, made out of like her sister's hair or something. And Margot Robbie wore a replica, not that, but also out of hair. And so it's like that, like sometimes it's like cute and flattering and whatever, but sometimes it's just creepy and like no. And I don't know. I have yet to see how where's the Ryan in those text messages and emails and things? Where is he showing up for her? Like in person? Because I'm not Blake and I'm not Ryan and I'm not with either of them. So, to each their own to a certain point. But and I hate to say it this way, but if it was me, like this wouldn't, not that it wouldn't fly, like, whatever, but like, yeah, it wouldn't fly. It wouldn't, this wouldn't be you supporting me. Like, oh, here, like you can take my blazer, or oh, I'll take your don't worry, you just go to your stuff. Like, don't worry, like I got this. I'll just wear your blazer. And I'm not saying blazer, I'm just saying like, an example. But I'll just wear that and I'll feel like you're right there with me and like I'll feel stronger for it. I can imagine. I can see that being what Blake thought. My parakeet is destroying my, well, not my TV, but the other TV. Um I don't like her husband's clothes on her. I think she does too much. That's for sure. Yeah. As far as like the game that Blake and her dragons like to play, are you talking about, I'm guessing you are talking about Taylor and Ryan and how they're like all of this is like a circus. Kind of like uh only the French. Excuse my French. I took French in second and third and fourth grade and a little bit in college, but my pronunciation sucks, especially on the spot when I've been talking in English. But le dîner du con or something like that. I think in English it was like the translation is like, was it the dinner of stupid? But I think the dinner game was the translation and the English version of that comedy. French version of that comedy, so funny. English version of that comedy, I remember I was watching it so enthusiastic with my family because we love the French version, and we were all kind of like, "Is this supposed to be funny? Like how did they mess that up? It was so simple. It's so simple." But anyways, are you talking in that kind of way where, or like Epstein type of way, where it's like these people that, if you're not familiar with the movie, so it's these like rich, very rich people, they're really rich and really bored and blah blah. And so they have this dinner, I don't know how often, weekly or monthly or whatever, where they bring someone that they find is like really stupid, and whoever brings the most stupid person, the most like low IQ person, wins. And I don't know, it's like a wager or pool of money or something, I don't know, whatever. So are you talking in that kind of sense? Not necessarily exactly, but that idea that they're just like playing with this man's life in that sense, and this whole like trial and everything. um I do tend to believe, I know Ashley says they're still friends and blah blah. The way that they both seem, Blake and Taylor, I can easily see how they're not friends just because their friendship just by what people they seem to be, their friendship cannot is not that important, if that makes sense. If they're used to be people to being people that don't care about other people. And this is like, I mean, this is a lot of not even allegations. Again, I hate saying the word allegations because I'm not really even alleging. I'm just brainstorming. I'm just hypothesizing. Um, so yeah, I'm not even saying I really believe this, but it's the one theory that could happen or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. There was something, oh, there was that article about Travis, how because like he refuses to have Blake and Ryan at the wedding and blah 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 blah. And I think it's a little cowardly if that, because it sounded like Taylor is saying that, but using kind of Travis as a shield. Maybe not. Um, but I don't think Travis can say whatever he wants to say without Taylor's approval. At the rate, at the text messages we've seen, and at the yeah, as who she seems to be, which is very, very controlling of her image and everything like around her, as a brand, as a person, whichever, both, either or, like there's no way he was just putting out a statement or like putting representatives out there just because he felt that way, and without Taylor like approving it and saying, "Oh yeah, please say this." She didn't want that out. It wasn't going to be out. Um so I don't know if like Taylor is using him to say that, or because Ashley was saying the other day that she Taylor was putting out little feelers of how people would feel about Blake and Ryan being at her wedding. When there was an article saying like, not sure if Blake is invited, which everyone's like, what do you mean not sure at this point? Like for people that are pro Blake, what do you mean not sure? Cherox, sorry. But yeah. So what was I saying? Oh my gosh. Living with my family drives me crazy. Yes. This like really sets me off. I was saying lately, like my nervous system is just like it cannot catch a break. Um, oh yeah, so putting feelers out there with saying that like if Blake is invited is not sure. But yeah, like pro Blake, like Taylor fans that are pro Blake would be like, what do you mean she's not invited or you're not sure? It's an obvious duh. Why would you let a man come between you or whatever? And anti Blake or whatever, people would say like, why is this like even on the table? Because like I thought you were done. I thought you guys weren't speaking anymore and you're distancing yourself and blah 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 blah. And then there's people like Ashley and other people didn't really buy either of those. Um, but yeah, so that's what it seemed like. And I don't know if Ashley, I haven't seen. Um, this is like this is like bothering me. I'm now like all Blake type of dress situation. If I do this is weird. I feel like actually it's not as bad. Um, I feel like because I saw Ashley say that, being a feeler type of article to see how her audience, how her fans, how people will react, the public will react to her having or not having Blake, then the Travis story seems to be okay. Well, the public has decided, yeah, it's a no go on Blake, but I can't say that now because I just said that. Like my sources said that I'm not sure. So Travis has to say now that no, under no circumstances are they invited. I do. I believe the person that knows that I know that knows someone that knows Travis and all that stuff. I believe this one thing that's very plausible. When he unfollowed Ryan, I think, in my personal opinion, I think Travis is after fame. He's not like, oh, he's not Joe Allen. Like, oh, I'm here for the craft, and it's not so much the fame. I just want to like really become an artist and like develop myself. It's interesting because both him and what's his name, Harry Styles, Joe Allen, Harry Styles. I don't know about Jake Gyllenhaal and whatever. But even John Mayer, which I know not a great story with that one, but like they all have this theme of being like people, guys who are into their art and one don't necessarily want fame, some more than others, but they really want to hone in and come across, falsely so, but like truly as an artist, like that is their primary goal, not popularity. Whereas Travis, I mean, he's not an artist, he's a football player, but like you could compare him to Tom Brady, who Tom Brady was about football. He was about football, and fame was kind of secondary, and he embraced it and all that, but you could tell that like football was his life. Where, yeah, Travis, not so much. Travis does seem like he wants the fame. And so there's that. But I also think that it's very believable to me that what is in that article about him feeling like Ryan just puts on a show all the time and he's not genuine. Maybe it was more like a feeling at first, like why is this, like, I mean, it's so easy for any normal person. The way Ryan talks is so easy to be like, what the heck? Like, I don't want to be around this person. This person's like crazy, like. And as Ashley was saying, Travis has nothing to gain from Ryan. He's not in the same world. Football, Hollywood, whatever. The only place would be like, so Ryan wouldn't come between him and Taylor if that was like a thing. But without that, and maybe in that way, if this is a very true relationship, like if that happens, then too bad, like it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't a strong relationship thing. I don't know, but yeah, I do believe that. I believe that he is more normal than Ryan Reynolds, and he's more like authentic is a tricky one because you know what is authentic in the world of celebrity of any industry. But yeah, I think he's a lot more authentic than Ryan Reynolds. I think mean, many, if not most people in Hollywood even are more authentic than Ryan Reynolds, which is saying a lot, I think. But I would guess that. Um, he's on a different level than many. So yeah. Hi, Rose is Wild. Welcome. Hello. Um, I don't know if I wrapped that train of thought. um, kind of like that. Okay, yeah. Like the dinner game situation. I seen a Reddit post from a few days ago. A person that went out to dinner was going to order a drink. They had on the menu Lavender Haze, which is um Taylor's song made with aviation gin. I mean, that's not gonna stop now. They will write out that contract. And people will not buy that drink. Was this also at that restaurant bar place that Travis owns or whatever co-owns or sponsors or whatever in Chicago? I think it's in Chicago. Anyways, is that where it's at or somewhere else? But that's interesting. Goes in with like what Ashley was saying, that Taylor and Ryan have probably a lot of contracts, a lot of um, collaborations together. And yeah, I don't think it's going to hurt either of them right now because it's an obscure place. It's not like it's sold in stores, where it's more noticeable to the public that is involved in this case. Um, I believe that. I don't know. I believe that. I will say that sounds like a good drink too. Lavender haze, like I imagine lavender, vanilla, lemon. What's a good British Bake Off lavender combination? Poppy seed, right? Lemon, lavender, vanilla, poppy seed. There's a Bridgerton cake sprinkles or whatever right now, and there's a lavender vanilla one or honey lavender. Yeah, ooh, honey. That was the other one. Maybe not lemon, honey. Um, I don't know that I've ever had gin. Not huge into alcohol. Um, I like old fashions. Does an old fashioned have gin? I don't know, but yeah, that gives me an idea. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, not to support either of them, really. You think that she should invite Blake. You feel that she wanted to. How public is this wedding going to be? I thought it was not going to be public. I had started saying that I don't know that they're still friends. Which is like, I mean, Ashley probably will know best, right? And can anticipate and have educated guesses more than I do. But yeah, I don't know that they're still friends. I don't know that people like that can have true friendships is what I was saying. So I don't know. That's probably a lot though. For Taylor to finally get married when her whole brand, her whole persona, everything about her has been, you know, eventually getting married, being the princess in the castle, all that stuff. And to not have this friend that, in apparently her words and canceled, has been there through thick and thin and was there before her exoneration or whatever she was saying. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. I don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation. And I can see how, I think, like, for me personally, if I would discover my friend doing these like bad things and trying to take over anyone's movie and blah, 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 but she seemed to know that already. So, like, yeah, I don't know. You're probably right as far as if they're friends, don't hide it, and just invite her. Uh, this is a mess. I can imagine that this is not how they thought this year or these years will turn out. And by them, I am thinking mainly about Travis and Taylor. And I not saying anything necessarily pro either of them or any of them, but like putting myself in their shoes for a bit. When they met, however their relationship was, PR, no PR, whatever, it really screwed with any plan that made sense for them to have or like for Taylor to have. And if this is real, like truly, really, they fell in love and it was love at first sight and bam. Um, that sucks a lot. That this is really being a cloud, a dark cloud over what otherwise would be your happiest time, especially for someone who has like probably fantasized about getting married and all that stuff because she has in so many of her songs and this whole persona that she's created or been. Yeah, I think that's like, talk about karma and how karma is not so sweet, is it, to Taylor right now? Because that's probably karma. Like to have that, all of this get in the way to some degree or another of you finally getting the thing that you kept singing about and wanting, and the football player picking you, choosing you, loving you, wanting to get married to you, and this fairy tale wedding, and you're at the top, all these millions and billions of dollars, and they're not too shabby either, and all this stuff. And then comes like your best friend with her legal drama that she also dragged you into it willingly. It seemed like it was very willingly, but still. And at the time, maybe you didn't know. You thought, I was reading, some of the text messages in the one article, like you thought that she won and it was justice and all that stuff. And then now you find out maybe it's not quite that way, or either way, it's just really ruining your plan, really ruining what would otherwise be like perfect timing and everything. And who knows how calculated this all is too. So yeah, on that, I kind of like, yeah, I don't know, feel for her, but yeah, man, that sucks. I say that like half passive aggressively, probably. Like a little bit of oh darn it kind of way. Um what is your best friend was making what if your best friend was making false claims against an innocent person to cover up her stealing a movie and named you in the lawsuit and wants you to be false witness to help her? Yeah. I mean, again, I don't think I'm the person to ask. I think sometimes I am ethical to a fault, and I'm not in the like, oh, that's like so amazing, but like too rigid with ethics and morality. And life sometimes is gray, and things are gray, and there is no like good and evil and black and white kind of stuff. But like I said, I think that even if Taylor was there willingly and knowingly, and maybe she knew everything and whatever. If I would be that kind of person, I would still be very fuming mad that your battle, did I say that? Is ruining my big moment. And I'm not even talking about like marriage. I'm talking about like the PR of the marriage because this is not, normal person. And as far as like stealing someone's movie or project or whatever, and people have talked about, maybe I talked about this too last time. Um for someone, Taylor, who has been very vocal about protecting artists and artists from not getting bulldozed and taken over and all that stuff, protecting their work, all that stuff. Yeah, it feels quite not on brand. You created this brand. Why are you not sticking with it? And behind the scenes, you're like, screw that, because this is a man. I mean, I guess that is on brand. And I hate that. That is just like the stupidest, worst thing, not in the world, but like one of the worst things where this like gender I remember doing a live months ago where I was reading like Reddit comments, I think, about or post whatever happens on there about well, even if Blake is lying or even if it's not true what Blake says, I still think he's Justin is disgusting or wrong or he should pay for it or whatever just because he's a man. It was something along those lines. And I was like, You should not have kids." Well, I mean, I say that in a very exaggerated, aggressive way, but, like, that idea should not be passed on genetically or otherwise. Like, that no. What? How are we there in 2026? I almost said 2021 again. What the heck? No. But that would be on brand for Taylor. Like, just because he's a man, like, A, assume that yes, he is a creep, he is, cold, he's bad, he's whatever. The idea that, like, oh, we're women and we've had so many opportunities stolen from us, and we've had, remember that text message Blake said texted Justin, and I said, "It kind of sounds like Taylor." I think I said that, because she wrote The Man, and she has this, like, kind of idea about, how Blake was saying how she was overlooked, how she had to write or do rewrites, and the director took it. This is so funny. Sorry. How the director took her pages and pages, like rewriting the whole script without giving her credit. It's just like the coin landed. Napikat fisa is the Romanian phrase. Like the coin just like did cling because maybe they weren't asking for that. Maybe you imposed your rewrites and that's why they didn't give you credit. Because A, what credit would you want? I don't know of any credit in the movie world of rewritten by, like, edits to the script by, like actors do that sometimes. Actors improvise, depends on the director, depends on, the freedom they have. Um, and the director can rewrite, everyone can rewrite, well, not everyone, but you know what I mean. Like people can rewrite, but there's no credit for that. And I guess maybe she was thinking in the terms of producer, and we never got to that PGA letter. Let me finish with this, and then I think we need to talk about that one because that one is out of my please. That one is a piece of art, let's say. And I also wanted to talk about, I don't know if I did talk about my not personal experience per se into that, but yeah, let me find my stuff here somewhere. Okay, I found it. I found that. Dear Producer Guild of America. All right. Um, but yeah, so to wrap this part up, or not wrap this whole part up of today, but just this thought before I go to that. Yeah, I actually don't remember what I was saying, but yeah. Um, it's all fun and games until federal courts are involved. Yeah. Yeah. Um, who was saying like this is like taxpayer money right now too being wasted on these two. And I mean, these two sounds horrible because I like Justin and I'm, supportive of Justin and I think it wasn't his fault. Um but yeah, on this lawsuit. I don't know how true that is, but if it's federal, I'm imagining, yeah. Well, any court, right? Any court is like taxpayer money type of thing. Or is that only if they go to court and up to that point is just like them paying their lawyers? I don't see, this is one thing that I need to learn this year. This year I'm trying to like do more learning. Okay. Um yeah, more learning, more like history, politics, our law, our not laws, but rights and all that stuff. Um Taylor will have potentially 3 trials she has to show up for while trying to do wedding and honeymoon. What do you mean 3 trials? Yeah, which 3 trials? I can think of, like, Blake versus Justin and then Melissa, Nathan, all that PR part. Is there a third one, or are you talking about, like, 2 completely other ones? Um, man, but that also still puts into perspective how crappy this is for her. I think it's crappy. Oh, there's a Judd Wallace one too. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's like if she is she that I haven't followed the other ones. Is she that tied to that? I guess be right. Like maybe the Judd Wallace I can see, but what about the other ones? Um, she needs to stand up for her friend like she did when she was helping her take over the movies. If I was doing OBS instead of just I'm on YouTube Studio right now, I would highlight that comment for sure. Yes. Taylor Swift needs to stand up for Blake like she did when she was helping her take over the movie. She shouldn't back down now. Yeah. It is really like a weird friend. This is why I'm like, how can this friendship be real in a on a plane where like there's so much PR and not real. Like, like where you have to think about your image. Even this Ryan not showing up in court and all that, is that because of his image? Were they talking before and decided, hey, save yourself? It's all this thinking about how someone appears and yeah, but it's really I think now after those text messages, I think Taylor didn't want to be involved, not because she's not involved, or she wasn't involved enough, or she didn't know enough, or whatever else, but because she was. And that's why she didn't stick up for Blake, I think. I don't think she didn't stick up for Blake because, like I don't remember what other people she has stuck up for. I remember someone saying that, hey, like, she didn't show support for Blake like she showed for this other person in this lawsuit. Um, Gosh, who was that? Does anyone remember? But I think she didn't support Blake. She didn't repost like the New York Times article thing. She didn't unleash her Taylor fans, Swifties. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that because we're always reminded of that. She didn't do any kind of support because I think at the beginning they were not friends. Maybe they were slightly strained or whatever, but like she knew what happened and she was a willing participant, at least to some degree in it, allegedly. Um, but she didn't wanna get dragged because she knew she was a participant. She knew that if she was dragged, she would go down. Like, not even the power that she's, like, created with her and the Swifties could save her, you know? So, yeah, uh, yeah, yeah. Now I'm thinking, where did my mom take my car? Because that was the thing. Sorry, ADHD here, ADHD moment. My mom asked if she can take my car because she doesn't have a car because my stepfather took another car or whatever. But I'm like, where is the dog? And where did she go? And where did they all go? But anyways, so yeah. Um, yeah, I honestly think Taylor shouldn't hide her sport. 3 trials, so true. I think it was, oh, not actually Golden. That explained why she would be in the Judd one too. Okay. Um, I like Not Actually Golden. I love how accessibly she talks about this stuff, how easily she explains things, and yeah, it's really cool. I want, you know who I wonder, because I this is going to sound interesting, but hear me out. I wonder if Michelle Obama is listening to this case, or like, on top of it. The reason I say that, I think she has so many better things to think about. But the reason I say that is she's a fan of Real Housewives of different cities. And she also was a lawyer and has a law degree. I started reading her Becoming book. Her book Becoming. I think that's how most people say it. Michelle Obama's, not Blake, not Taylor's. And yeah, yeah, it's kind of awesome. I love that book so far. I have 13 hours to go out of 19 hours. Did not know that when I started. Didn't really care to know that. It was just like, oh, I'm curious about this book. I'm listening to it on Spotify because that's the least boundary place for me to read a book. Reading isn't like, has a lot of entry boundaries or whatever. Oh my gosh, what's the name? Um Barrier to entry. Yeah. And the public library app, same thing. It's like I have to have another app, and it's not actually the best software or platform interface, is what I meant. But Spotify. So if you are curious, haven't read it, whatever, I would suggest it, highly suggest it. It's so awesome. But yeah, I'm curious if she's like keeping an eye on this on this case. Um, yeah, who knows? But yeah, but not actually golden. I love how she makes it so accessible and so easy to understand, and yeah. I wonder how, or now Taylor will blame Blake for bringing her into this mess. Yeah. But can she? That's interesting though that she hasn't. I think it's also because she's not sure what the public would prefer, right? She can't really blame Justin. She can't blame Blake because she'll lose either way. So now she's just kind of like, just take me out of this narrative, whatever she was saying on Reputation. Maybe it was a Harco insurance one and not Judd. Okay. I think she explained why it would be 3, but I can't remember any details. Okay. Either way, even 1 is 1 too many. It sucks. But they have plenty of money and they can do it anytime too. So they can postpone that and whatever. But or use, yeah, I don't know. She has a private jet, so just honeymoon and then yeah, show up in court, and I don't know. I guess she needs to prepare and all that stuff. It's not great. I just thought she mentioned doing one in Texas, and that would be Judd, not Harco. Okay, cool. Um, so as far as like my notes, talked about Justin and Blake wearing the same color. Ironically, I this was under my, I think I had like a gray shirt, and then when I went outside, I put like a red like sweatshirt on. But yeah, we're all matching. Yay. um how terrible Blake's suit was happening there. Um the fact that Ryan Reynolds' absence, he wasn't there, and how like there's no excuse for that, in my opinion. No excuse. But I can also see how it's a very Hollywood thing to do. But it I think it looks horrible because you see how much he bullied people into supporting her. So it just looks like he's very cowardly. I don't know how else to say it. And I was saying in my notes, like, there's no way a real husband, a real supportive husband would not be there. Yeah. All the other spouses were there. Oh, the other thing. So with the video, and remind me if I don't show this video, I will try to show it in the next couple of minutes, but I will show Andy showing the video because he finds it, and I'm rusty at this. And I'll link Andy's video below and stuff. Um, but people are focusing on Justin's. I'm curious, and I have to look at the video because I saw a screen capture in the Daily Mail article. But I'm curious to see if in the video looks the same. It seemed like Steve Sarowitz was smiling, like actually smiling, coming out of the courtroom today. So we'll see that. Let me just go down this note list. Justin looks rough. Did Blake sabotage Justin through some stylist or something? Or did she have an in with the stylist or whatever? Like, oh, what color is he wearing? Oh, I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna wear the same color. But I think it was kind of a coincidence, but it is a really freaky coincidence because I do see. I don't know if it's the same suit because I think Blake is bigger than Ryan, but maybe I'm wrong. Like belly wise or whatever. But yeah, I can see how it's Ryan's suit from the premiere of It Ends With Us. No one would really pick up on that. Like it doesn't look similar. Did Is Blake taller than Ryan too? Because it looked shorter. Like I don't know that it's the same one, but it could be like an homage to that one. I don't know why Justin was wearing green. Is green, I don't know what the symbolic psychology of green besides money and life and all. Oh, and then Emily, I saw that she was wearing an Ankh cross, Egyptian cross thing. So I was like, that's cool. And to me, random. Unless if that was a statement. I don't know. But they probably have their protective talismans on, even if you don't believe in that, going into this war of a courtroom, I think you're like, you know what, just in case, let me take that crystal bracelet, let me take that symbol or whatever. Oh boy. Oh yeah. I'm struggling. Oh boy. This is not a very comfortable position because you're on this cart right now. And what drives me crazy is that, I'm this is okay, that's a little better. This keeps going down because it's, a tank top thing, not a turtleneck. And then this was not news today, but Ryan and Hugh Jackman distance lately. So yeah. One last thing. I'm gonna throw this out. This is going to be kind of odd timing, but because I'm going down the list and I don't want to forget, and I don't really have much news about this. I just saw it when I was in the article, but apparently James Van Beek passed away today, this morning. He was dealing with cancer. I think I'm losing internet, so joy. I didn't watch the show. I don't know. My internet's not working. But yeah, I didn't watch. I think it was Seven Heaven, wasn't it? Or Dawson's Creek. It was Dawson's Creek, wasn't it? I don't know. I didn't watch any of those shows, but I definitely knew about him, and he was in some movies lately. He had disappeared for a while. Um And yeah. So that was sad news. Again, I never watched anything that he was in, but he was a 90s icon, I feel, because he was definitely a memorable person and memorable face and name from the 90s, early 2000s. So that's sad. Um Kind of weird back to Justin and you know these people. Um Ooh, let me do an in between before I show the video. Elsie was talking about how people are tired, seemingly, probably, um, of headlines, just reading the headline and then not finding like zero like actual content inside of the articles. And I think that I can feel I can feel that trend. Oh my gosh. Pui. I can feel that trend too. Um, I think we do get bite-sized information, but from Instagram, from TikTok, from social media, the articles that have existed lately have been either written by AI and not actually reviewed by a human being, or human beings that just write, or maybe they're over taxed with writing things. Maybe, it's low staff or whatever. And like she was saying, they might not even know any details if you would ask them about this case. They're just writing it. So it's interesting because it seems humanity still goes back to real reporting and real investigations of news and real, yeah, reporters and people who want to get to the bottom of something and not just, oh my gosh, Aru, pui, vino. She's like, no. um, but yeah, people who actually are wanting to get to the bottom of things, who are actually doing research and curious about what's happening. And I will say that I'm not the best at this, but when I do research and I really know what I'm talking about, it feels so amazing. And you guys, I think, respond so well to that too. And people respond well to when you're actually prepared. And you don't have to be like perfect, but not, just write something that has nothing to do with the headline. I think same thing on YouTube. Anytime that, the headline doesn't match the content, you can tell quickly. And it's like, no. Or if like the headline and I did a couple of these. I tried sort of some of these YouTube like subjects or titles, YouTube video titles. Oh my gosh, subject lines. Okay, Arena. And that are like attention grabbing or whatever. No. Like, I don't know how to like say it as simple as possible. And if you're interested in this, you'll click on it. And I think Shursty kind of does that still a bit, and that kind of it gets to me sometimes because I'm like, okay, this is not breaking news. I've seen this like a few days ago or like whatever. So, but to her audience, it is that, I guess. But because I think with this topic, it's so we are all watching each other. Well, I don't know anyone else, any of them watching me, but like we're all watching each other. Everyone's watching all of us. There's really kind of, it gets annoying when people are treating it like you've not seen it before. No, you've seen it before. You can't get enough of it. When I watch 90 Day Fiance, I go and I watch, maybe not right after, but I watch commentary videos on it. I watch recap videos on it, not because I didn't see it, but because I'm like, oh, I don't want to see that actually literally all over again, but I want to see it through someone else's eyes, through their opinions, or just because I'm like, oh my gosh, what was that? I need to see it. I need to experience that again without having to sit through all of that again. So something like that. So either you like can't get enough of it, or you're curious about that particular person's take on it or opinions, or just another opinion or take on it. So yeah. And sometimes people have different sources, they see different things, catch different things, etc., etc. But yeah, so but this idea that of the headlines, and also not everyone tuning in to any of these people, any of our videos are people who are like dedicated to this case. However, I still feel like we are all very tired of being sold to. I think we're all, whether we're aware of it or not, whether we've reached the like, I'm so fed up, or like starting to be like kind of annoyed or irritated when I log into, or I log in, I click on an article, I go into a video, even a TikTok that's like very short, and they don't really offer me anything. They don't offer me entertainment, they don't offer me education, they don't offer me, the pillars or whatever. And um their title, their description, their thumbnail, whatever, was misleading, or it was too sensational. That gets to me. Like, I, if you are like, I was looking at YouTube recently, like in the past like few hours, and there were these, the titles of like, I think it was like about a planet or some discovery in space, and it's like, this discovery was just made, or like, not that way, but like, this discovery blew scientists' minds or whatever. And it's like, I'm just not gonna click on it. Is it like rising my interest, raising my interest? Yes, but am I going to click on it? No. I might look it up on Google and go somewhere else, because just out of principle, this is what I'm talking about. Ethical for me is like a little too much. Just out of principle, I don't want to promote you doing that. I get algorithms and people's attention and all that, but like, how about you just be real? And if I'm interested in that subject, a plain title will go a long way. I'm gonna click. I was watching Star Talk. I'm gonna click Star Talk's things, whether or not it's sensational, or like Andy's or Lauren's or Shirsty or Elsie's, or like, well, but that's like kind of in the scope of this trial. But yeah, I'm gonna click on it no matter what. Ashley was talking about that with her branding videos. Like, that's like kind of, people want to see you talk about it. I have to like, and it's interesting because I'm talking about this and I'm not really thinking about me doing this. I'm thinking about like observing others and my behavior towards others. When I think about it, about like it in terms of me, I get like, ooh, but like no one wants to see my content. And I know a few of you are here all the time, but um I do have that, like, I don't offer anything special because maybe I just haven't figured out my particular, like, voice in it or whatever. Or maybe I did, I just don't know it, I don't know, but yeah. Um, the video. Ooh, live with Cirque du Soleil, okay. Um, let me see. How do I share again? Oh, and then, where did I leave? He wants to save his image more than he wants to support his wife, is why I think Ryan wasn't there. Yeah. Maybe they both. Maybe they're like, someone has to like make money, don't support me. I don't know. It does seem like that household is not they don't seem like they have I mean, they can't even stare into each other's eyes after all these years and kids. So it does seem like it's not mature, not real, but like not from love, let's say, and communication would be a big part of that. Excuse me. I see seen a video of Ryan and the Bleed movie. Yeah, I don't know if we saw the same one, but I don't really think that I watched it. Did I watch it? Where was that? Do you remember? Because I feel like I mean I don't feel like I know that I saw a video about talking about that. And I don't think it was Ashley's. She also talked about it. Maybe it was hers. I don't remember. I didn't even know another Blade. I know the Blade movie from like way back, like the first Blade. That's what I know. And when I think Blade, I think Wesley Snipes. I don't think Ryan Reynolds. And so it's like really weird that people now think Ryan Reynolds. Ew, go away. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Wesley Snipes is not a great person either, but like, no. Why are you taking over people's movies and franchises? Like, no one needs you. Go be Deadpool and that's it. I think or that was probably before Deadpool, or was he just getting greedy at this point? I think the colors have meaning. Uh, yeah, I mean, in general, I think so too. I just don't know the meaning of olive green and why, like for this specific thing. Let's see, because it's not like olive branch. Um, meaning 'cause that's like what comes to mind, but like peace, nature, tranquility, also carries connotations of military strength, endurance, and sophistication. Okay. I think it's still kind of an odd choice. You don't often see that. I've not seen many celebrities that go to court, but I've not really seen them wear green in that meaning. But all right. So, military strength, endurance, sophistication is probably what they were putting on. Like, help me get through this. I like Jameson. Don't trust the B in apartment 23. Yeah. I saw that. That was a while ago. Did that last? I don't think it lasted much, did it? Um I want controversial maybe opinion. I want I want shows to not only be given more chances than just like a few seasons. Like, oh, your rating, blah, 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 blah. Because literally some of the biggest shows ever had bad ratings for season after season after season at first. Um, so yeah, I don't know what kept them on, but we need to bring that back because some shows do not deserve to be taken off. I can think of it right now. The other thing I would like is for sitcoms to look like sitcoms again and not this stupid like I'm not even trying to film this on a camera film thing. Like I don't know if it's the film part, but like I don't know why they look like you just took someone off the street and handed them like a iPhone to record. There's no depth of field or I don't know what's happening. I don't know, but it really bothers me. It's been like that for a while. Um I don't know the first show that I saw that. Oh, I know. Something with Brandon, oh not Brandon Kutcher. Jason, what's his name? Ben Kutcher. What was his name? With Mila Kunis. Anyways, he did this like sitcom, something in the cabin or something. I think that was the first one that I saw like that, and then everyone followed. Like New Girl, Friends, Frasier, um, I almost said Star Trek. That's not a comedy, but a sitcom. But like these, like had like a look to them of that was nice. I don't know. A B, in that same train of thought, stop making everything like a feature film and maybe put in more money and budget into extending more episodes and writing scripts and like give us 40 minutes, but give us good 40 minutes instead of like an hour of these like high budget movies per episode. It's not bringing me joy. It's not bringing me joy. Sherlock, great, amazing. It should stay that way. Not every show needs to be like Sherlock or like Broadchurch was the other one. I know one of you was saying, I don't know if it was April or Roses Wild. One of you was saying, well, we have these 8 episodes now because of um no, because of British TV, but even British didn't have all of their shows that way. But yeah, like too much of a like this is just the stupid of Hollywood. Like, oh, something works. Let's just cookie cutter endlessly. Like, no. Do whatever works for that show. My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, for example. Perfect example. She knew that it was going to be 4 seasons if they were lucky to be picked up for every 4 seasons, but she knew she had like the whole idea for how the arc is going to happen and the whole story and just like 4 seasons and that's it. And even the fourth season seems strained a bit. And but I think she had like decent amount of episodes in it and it was good and it was like it was good. It was good. But yeah, I'm so over this. And the other one, the third thing is I started watching Bridgerton, a couple of days ago. I'm already done with it because I didn't know that there was this like, oh, next half on February 28th or 23rd or whatever. I'm like, what the crap is this? No. Ew. Of course, just like I was saying with like content creators that Ashley was saying, like if someone likes you or likes your content or likes or whatever, wants your idea, your opinion, whatever, like they will or aesthetics, whatever, they will tune in. I'm not gonna lie that I'm not gonna watch the rest of Bridgerton, but I hate it. I'm not gonna look fondly on it, for life. Like, oh yeah, I respect that creator. That should, Shonda Rhimes or whatever. Like, is it rhymes? Oh my, that doesn't sound right. But anyways, whoever made that decision is like you're again, it comes from just the being fed up with being sold to and being milked. Like we're not cows. Even cows, people will say, like, stop milking the cows for our enjoyment, like and our benefit, like ad nauseum. Like we're not we're not feeling good about that. So yeah, bring back the good quality look of it for sitcoms and the maybe not so good quality look of the other movies. Um make it, however you want to do it, but make it last longer. And don't like do this like, oh, release it every week. How about you do that? If you want to really go back and do all things like that, like release it every week or release 2 episodes a week. So you get like a little bit of the binge, but not all of it, And the reason I'm watching, I didn't talk about, I didn't like review Bridgerton and stuff. I didn't talk too much about it, but yeah, it was tough watching it at first. Like this will sound so stupid, but no one asked me, but I auditioned. Again, no one asked me to audition. And I know that. And I know that the chance of me having been picked for Sophie were zero. Because I think at that time, especially, they knew who they were going for and or like they knew that I remember like reading they knew that they wanted them to be Asian. So yeah, and I did it just because I really needed it. And I came up with this idea and then I read a little bit of Sophie. I'm like, I will regret not doing this. Like, I'm not gonna be picked. I'm not even going to be contacted. Like, whatever. I may not even get to send this. I did end up finding like the casting director's like email and stuff, but like, I'm not even sure how that works. But yeah. So I'm not delusional that I would have gotten Sophie, but there's a connection to the story from like personal, not personal life, but like my sense of self and how life has been, or like ideas or what, like there's like a lot of mm, synchronicity, sort of, I think that's the word, with this story. And I will say that I'm kind of a little borderline disappointed so far in how they put it on screen versus the book, but so far. um but yeah, and so, but it was tough to watch it because of that, and then to have it rubbed in. They're going to like Romania, to Bucharest, where I'm from, with the like a masquerade ball. And I'm like, I could have been in my own home country, in my home city. What about this? This sucks. So the first like 2 or 3 episodes, I don't know, have there been 4 or 5? I don't know. But yeah, that was like, that was tough. I had like actual anxiety. I was like, oh gosh. And then like now I'm curious and I'm invested in it or whatever. Like I said, I don't know, it's a little underwhelming. I'm in the choices that were changed are interesting and they make sense, but there's some things that I feel like could have been kept more from the book. It was the only book that I read from the Bridgerton series, because I was like, "Ooh, I like this character. I need to read it." So yeah, so it has Bridgerton. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just no. No. Just let's go back to like good TV. Ashton Kutcher, yes, thank you. Brandon Kutcher. Oh man. I think she rehashes other people's content. I'm trying to remember who I was talking about or what I was talking about. Well, do you remember, April, what that was in reply to? Crap. I don't remember. I don't know. Um I watched Bridgerton, but it wasn't me because I do that too. Now I'm like, me? I watched Bridgerton, but I was disappointed. They should add more episodes to each season. It made me feel like stuff was rushed, but I like the first 2 seasons. Yes, that too. It did feel rushed. Yeah, because I was like, didn't wasn't there more that could have been done at the like the cabin or whatever cottage? Um, yeah, it was like very condensed. And you know what's interesting, for not only because they're also talking about other characters, right? So they definitely have content there. I think what's her name with the what's his name with the sister or cousin or whatever is coming from town, that they just left us on that cliffhanger. I think I kind of I'm not sure that I'm happy that they're just kind of in between other people's stories and they don't get their own season. Maybe next season will be kind of more their own season and they're just setting it up. But that was rushed too. Like, okay, yeah, they met, got married, cool. And then there's this cousin or sister or whatever, is Francesca, that's her name. Is Francesca, going to get with the cousin or sister, whatever she is, and or like it all. I wish that I could record him or him, it, her. I don't know what gender Blue is, but he does this. I call him he because I wanted him to be a he. Um, but Blue does this like there's a lot of aggression, but a lot of fear. Like I'm prey, so I'm not gonna be loud like this other one. Like I am scared of you, but I'm upset. I'm gonna just like quietly just like yell at you. and then get mad on your shoulder, like just rip your like clothing, attack your clothing. So it's like funny. But yeah, so that story feels rushed. Yeah, I don't know. This season is a little weird. It is a little weird. I don't know, maybe because it's been like what, 2 years or something. Maybe it's not that different, but it feels it doesn't feel satiating like the other seasons. Um yeah, it's so interesting because I never thought I would be into this show, and because I'm not into this type of like stuff usually, but they did a good job with these other ones. My puy, puyo, puyo. Mm, okay. So okay, let's get back into this video. So not end stream. Is this the share? Share. I think it's this one. Oh, great. Give me a little thing. Okay, so Andy. Oh, perfect. I like this. It didn't like. Anyways, sorry, technical stuff that I'm excited about. I'm getting excited about. So, all right. Is this, yeah, them leaving out. So let's see. I'm so curious. I'm so curious what Steve looks like, because he did seem to like smile in that one picture. So I'm like coming close because I can't see. To me, it just seems like business as usual. Again, how crazy do you like? It just seems like this is just a formality, not like, oh, I really expect settlement. But I think Andy was talking about, maybe from his previous video, he was talking about how he had a previous video with these other lawyers, how like this process goes, or maybe from his own experience, how this mediation process goes and how intimidating it can be. So maybe Blake wasn't ready for that, especially because she couldn't blame, oh, this is Brian Friedman, and he's just out to get me, and he's I don't know, he has like his like dark methods of defending his clients or whatever, you know, because Andy was saying basically that, I don't know, I'll link it. You can go check out. I think that's an interesting point. So maybe that's why Blake, is upset and stressed and frustrated. It was 6 hours. It was probably like grueling, annoying. Maybe that's how she walked out of her deposition too. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. And then definitely not getting, neither of them really got what they wanted, you could say. But yeah, it's probably more from the like process of it, is what I'm saying. Because in this one you can say also that Emily is not looking very happy. Let's like go back to Steve. I can't see. Oh my gosh, can I zoom this in? No, I can't. Haru chafachakolo, she's gone exploring. It's like, oh, how can I zoom this in? That didn't zoom anything in. All right. There we go. So here's like Steve. Terrible quality. Is that my quality? It might be my quality. Let me check. Wait. Settings. Wait, why don't I have quality on here? All right. What article is he talking? It looks TMZ-ish. Is it TMZ? I think it was TMZ. Let me pull that up. See if I can find that. Because it might just be their thing. All right, so let me pull this in here and share this tab. Excuse me. I didn't see this one. Dose for your liver. This is Forbes. That doesn't look that green anymore. It looks brown, especially when you look at her. Oh my gosh, were those pictures altered in the news to be able to like say that they're matching? Oh my gosh, sorry. One second, they're doing bad things. They're doing bad things. May, shh. May, go. I can't move. Placards. Okay, hold on. Hold on 1 second. I need to just chase some parakeets. Okay. All right, I'm back. So, yeah, so did they, because you can like play with colors and stuff on photos very easily. So did they do that on purpose so they have a headline? He's not wearing pink. He's matching at least what I saw, he's matching Emily with tan with like camel. But in this one, she looks like just completely brown, and her person and her like undershirt is green. So, oh, that's interesting. And the white balance seems fine. But anyway, so that's like, yeah, coming in. But looking for the exiting. I don't know if they have exiting. Oh, ad. All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess I wasn't in person. None of us were in person, so who knows in person what it looked like, but in the pictures, in the videos, he looked like he was matching Emily. Excuse me. Still like so tiny. I think this is just them. All right. Gosh, this is like just a nightmare. How why? Okay.
Fad diet there.
Good for you. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting that looked brown what Blake was wearing. Like maybe a khaki. I would call this khaki. All right. All right, like a blushy, maybe. Sorry. Okay, I'm distracted. Steve. We're looking at Steve. Yeah, he definitely smiles big. Can I slow this down somehow? Oh, this one has quality. Okay, but you don't have like slow down. All right. We're try to work with what we have. So there we go. That's when he starts smiling, obviously, when he sees, the cameras and stuff. Man, that's a fast clip. But you can definitely see like a pretty big smile on Steve. But again, like all of this can be for show. A lot of it is for show because, like, yeah, what are they going to do? But yeah. Anyway, so that's both of them. Look at this. That's crazy. I've look at that. Oh my gosh. No wonder they stopped using their own viewfinders. They use like iPhones now and their viewfinder. Yeah, he doesn't say Brian doesn't say anything here, anything much. Um and then he says more here. Blah 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 blah. More ads. Cause yeah. Um just interesting stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's khaki. That's why it looks brown sometimes and green sometimes.
Hopeful for the rest of the case.
The case will move forward.
The case will move forward.
Hopeful? Am I hopeful about what?
About how the case will proceed.
Oh yeah.
So Brian, you got
Of course, he's very hopeful. The text messages that came out, the timeline, so much is, and then nothing. I mean, I don't know what else, but nothing that we've seen. Is like Blake submitted the dance scene close-ups. Like, yeah, I would be very hopeful too in that case where she brought forth nothing shocking, nothing new, nothing that showed anything. I mean, like the dance scene stuff, like really did not show anything. But maybe she's hoping, like, oh, we'll get people that don't know about acting, but like, all right, okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm very hopeful. It's like he's laughing. He's like, "Oh, I'm." But they definitely are.
We'll see.
But there's still a
chance. There's always a chance.
Is everyone? There's always a chance for a settlement. Yeah, if you get the way you want it.
Hard to come back tomorrow. It'll be on a different matter.
So they are coming back to.
I don't know that we will.
I don't know if we will resume settlement talks.
You think this will go to trial? Brian, do you think this will go to trial?
Thanks. I do.
I do.
Looking forward to it.
And
So, and then Andy says, like, well, that could be very easily because what else is he going to say? He'll say like what works for his purpose and stuff. I don't know how loud she is. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying a lot to not have her be like in the microphone, and she's loud in my ear as it is. But yeah. If they didn't reach a settlement and tomorrow they're meeting about something else, I can't see why he wouldn't be hopeful to go to trial. I mean, he wouldn't be hopeful in seeing that trial will be good, and because it's his case, like that's kind of like saying, oh yeah, I'm not hopeful, that I don't feel good about our case, because it's kind of like, I don't have a good metaphor or analogy, but like you're not going to, as the lawyer of a case, you're not going to say, oh, we have a weak case, right? And they don't really look like they have a weak case to anyone's eyes except wannabe feminists. Let's say that. So yeah. But as far as like him being sure, to go to trial, like, well, I feel that sounds like, yeah. I wonder what they'll meet about tomorrow. So we'll see. Maybe I'll come back if we get more information on that. But yeah. And then the article that I saw was just kind of more of the same. But that's where I found out that Justin's 42, Emily's 41, and Blake is 38. Little child that looks older. She looks 43. Blake looks 43. And right now, Justin looks like he's 48 or something. So, showbiz, maybe? I don't know. I mean, besides, obviously, the toll of this case that's gone on him. So I was saying that Blake is looking like she's wearing a kind of a brown, and then I landed on khaki that can look brown and green. Not Justin. Justin, I think it looks very much like full on green. Uh, different shades for sure. Can't believe this is like remember the like, is it blue? Is it white? Is it, what is that dress? The dress color? That's kind of.
How you feeling today? You look good. How you feeling?
Yeah, his looks more like golden green. Hers looks like brown, sometimes like brown green or whatever. But yeah, I guess according to Google and according to my educated guess about, obviously they're not going there for peace. They're going there to like suit up, protect themselves. So that's why the green. But it is really crazy. I wonder, what would be even freakier and crazier and like blow of our minds if tomorrow they wear a different color, but it's also the same or in the same family. That would be, because this you could say, okay, well, they both wanted to show, or they're both into symbolism and whatever. What are they wearing tomorrow? That's what I want to see. Again, because we have nothing better to talk, because we don't know what's going on in there. So you see, he is tired of TMZ and asking questions. Yeah, he trying to run away quick. I wondered the same thing about why they had to be there again tomorrow. Well, Brian Freeman said Friday. Like they have, I think Andy was saying like they have like multiple chances maybe to like if, or it was the extra or whoever was asking Brian questions. Like if they didn't reach a settlement today, they have to come back tomorrow. I don't know. So yeah, but he said like about something else. I'm curious what actually Golden said. Check her out after this. Because she released a video. I wonder if she has more insight. Although I'm curious now. But I wonder if she has more insight of like this process and what they could be meeting for tomorrow. Oh, she's doing a side-by-side matching thing too. Justin did look older. I don't know, from stress, not sleeping, the cold dehydrated his skin or what. Yeah, all of the above. I just looked at docket and settlement conference for Jen Abel against Stephanie Jones is tomorrow, so maybe that's what he meant. Ooh, okay. Yeah. I like Justin's outfit and Emily's too. Yeah. I thought Justin was in his 30s. Yeah. No. By the look of this though, and I'll shortly, because I can't tell myself because I'm so curious. I'll share it, not actually Golden's video, but yeah, no, he reminds me of my dad now in his 50s, honestly. It could be like, yeah, cold, not sleeping. Maybe like it could literally be just not having, night a night's sleep last night because he was stressing or prepping or whatever for this. Um, but I think like I remember I was shocked on the premiere, the red carpet, pink carpet, whatever, that he looked the way that he looked. He looked disheveled. Yeah, and I didn't know what was going on per se, but I'm like, he looks not, and of course, like Jane the Virgin was a while ago, but like something took a toll on him. What does that sound? Both parakeets are here. I don't know. So yeah. Yeah, he's selling his house. Oh yeah, let's talk about that for a second because I think not actually Golden talked about that. Wasn't or who talked about that? But yeah, could it be for money? My first instinct thought being that he is so he's like public but private at the same time. He is so um spiritual. I think two things popped up close to one another. I think the first one was more spiritual, the second one was more practical. And neither of them are about money, although sure that doesn't hurt. But I'll start with like the more is esoteric, the word more like ethereal, spiritual. Just the bad vibes. Like, just wanting to change the place because of how much this like was part of that because they moved in like shortly when they started, I think, right? I think he moved in after the pandemic there. They moved in. I don't know, but or during the pandemic, something. So not very far from the movie, and most of the last years were around this movie situation. So that's like one. The more the me saying it out loud makes me think not so like likely, maybe a little bit. But the second one, didn't people say? I just watched Lauren. I think didn't Lauren say that when Blake leaked or whatever his deposition was leaked, it leaked with his address, his home address. Wasn't that leaked in one of these like things? So and it was unredacted. So I think that's more likely why they're moving. They have kids. And whether it was like because it was leaked and unredacted or because people, he's getting death threats, people are who knows what's happening, people are stalking him, whatever. Like he has kids. They might be moving out of the country at this point, they might be going. Isn't she from Sweden or what country? Not Finland, Sweden, right? Emily. And including with like all that's happening in America and stuff, and this trial and just everything. Maybe they're moving like to another country, to like Emily's home country, to be with those grandparents too. You know, life is better over there. Literally one of the top happiest countries. So it's not really like, oh, we're going to a worse place. And in light of what is happening here, and for the kids also to not have to like potentially get bullied or like face it with classmates or whatever. So I think it's more for that reason. I don't know, nothing that I don't know if you guys know where Norway. Okay. um I don't know if you guys know if it's been announced where he's moving or they're moving, but I would guess that they're selling the house because of security reasons. And yeah. Um and kind of like peace of mind, but like in a different way that I started saying. Let's see, Emily Baldoni. She needs to come back. Maybe, maybe this is what, is like a good like turning point where she needs to like get. I think of like Michelle Obama. I think of like we have some friends who, he was the star, the like public person. His career was first and foremost. Michelle Obama, the same thing with Barack. And then like it kind of in I think a healthy dynamic, it at one point like turns, over. And then the woman kind of has her chance to do. And Emily was an actress, and so the kids being older, I don't know if they're old enough, but that's their choice of what is old enough. But maybe it's time for her to also like make a comeback. Because I don't know, I think like we would go see her in any movie. She's a fan favorite right now, so be a great time for her to start doing movies and get that support. So not age. I want to see. No, Swedish. She is Swedish. Yeah, at least according to Wikipedia. Uppsala, Sweden. I think I had someone who lived there for a bit, like a, exchange or whatever. But yeah, okay. Anyways, so he moved to Tennessee, and it was the new Tennessee address that was leaked. Oh, okay. Okay. Did he move? He moved to next to Dave Neal, not literally next to Dave Neal, but they should be friends. They would match because they're both like thinkers and open-minded people and stuff. I haven't actually seen Dave's content in a while because kind of like Andy, they have a very specific frequency of like how they speak that can be tiring for me. And yeah, but I should catch up on Dave's content. Yeah. But yeah, because I think he's in Tennessee. Because it's close. Oh, that's kind of cool. We're kind of neighbors. I didn't know that. Very far away neighbors, but yeah. He moved and she lived his new address. Okay. All right. So caught up. Let's see. I'm not gonna play her whole thing, but I'm curious.
There can be like a code, especially when it comes to court, of like, you wear red if you're like being really aggressive, or that kind of thing. You wear black, that means you're really serious. It's this ongoing conversation. But the fact that they are both wearing literally neutrals when you're going to a meeting about whether you can find common ground, I think both of them are signaling, whether it's to each other or whether it's to these cameras that they knew would be outside. Like, I'm not mad. It's whatever.
Interesting.
It is interesting. I mean, Olive is really in right now, Olive Green, so that's not like a huge surprise to me. And to be able to get through a long day, because sometimes these things are long. She's not wearing a coat. So I get like the multiple layers, but it's very to me. Like, it's fine.
Being too
but because he like doesn't have a collar,
opinion.
that's not really him. And he's got the 5 o'clock shadow, well, that's more than 5 o'clock, probably like a 9 o'clock shadow. But he looks good. I mean, to me, he looks
9 o'clock.
Neither threatening. It's not surprised me considering you can bring, but don't have it. But she was wearing like medium heeled boots, and she was stepping in exactly the part right in front of the courthouse that I stepped in a couple of weeks ago. And cannot.
Yeah, I was curious if she was going to talk about, what is going on and what is next, or whatever. But you're probably right. It's probably I think someone wants to go to sleep. But yeah, you're probably right that it's the Jen Abel and Stephanie Jones thing tomorrow. That is happening tomorrow. So yeah. And I'm gonna wrap it up here. My parakeet is yelling at me that she wants to sleep. And we kind of like covered everything. I'll do one more thing. Should I do it now? Also, here's Andy's video. I'll just post it in the chat. I'll post it in the description after. But should we tackle this? Maybe I'll just tackle it later. Excuse me. Next time we will actually go through this because it's a very, 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 very long one. And I do want to like really cover it and really read it. I read 50% of it, let's say. And yeah. First thoughts, which I think I've said right, is that this does not sound to me like someone who's been in the business this long. But what do I know? It sounds immature and it sounds like she's grasping at all the straws, like someone who doesn't know what she's doing. I would expect that she would know and she would be more confident in what she would present in this letter. And this is the PJ Mark Exhibit 163, document 1233. I will say that I've been away for a while, right, since the summer. So when I saw that we're in the thousands in the documents, I was shocked. I left off around 400, I think. So I'm like, yeah. But yeah, this is her writing at PGA credit, like producer, but a PGA producer, Producers Guild of America, like I don't know, emblem or whatever. And yeah. And also it sounded very much like no one asked her. So it's good you did all of this, but did someone ask you? Was it really like crucial? And I also want to talk about this executive because I had a fight with Gemini, the AI Gemini. I had a fight with it because I wanted to put together a very quick, like, anyone joining in. Because I was watching Keisha's video on something, one of these weeks with them. And she was getting some things wrong, or, she wasn't really very knowledgeable, didn't really do her homework on that one. And I was like, okay, I think there needs to be a catch up video that's like a bit more information for people who are like just tuning in, more or less, and a bit more unbiased. So I was like, oh, hey, Gemini, help me, like, let's put this together, let's put this like timeline of this whole case together and stuff. And it was very Blake biased, very Blake biased, very Blake biased. I don't know if I can access it now really quick, but like very, I was surprised and I had to check it and it still was Blake biased. I was like, what the heck? So but I said that for another reason. Oh yeah, I remember about her being executive producer. And I have a video. It used to be the main video on my channel, but I have a video that goes through the hierarchy of as much as I know and as much as I research. So like, I'm not Steven Spielberg over here. I don't know 100% everything. I'm not like the expert of the experts or even an expert. But from experience, what I've learned along the years, and also what I actually researched for that video, I did a video of the hierarchy. And executive producer is a bit more complicated. And again, she's probably hoping for people in a trial, if they go to trial, for people who don't freaking know anything and say, oh, producer, well, of course she could do whatever she wanted because she was a producer and she was the executive producer. I remember when I was little and I'm like, well, that sounds like the top producer. And then I found out, no, that just means you're putting in money, you're dealing with the financials. And then I learned with this that you're often given that as a vanity credit. Maybe people will think twice now, if you're a big star, because your name will bring people to see this or to invest in this because you're such a big star, not because you actually will produce things. Because there's multiple producers, but I can't find. Oh yeah, I found it. Yeah. So Did I have yeah. I'm like, you seem to be, this is what I told Gemini, you seem to be biased and not accurate in your depiction of events. And Gemini said, I hear you and I appreciate the call out. You're right to correct that framing. Technically and professionally, executive producer, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes into oh gosh, I can't think of, like, I can see something that's I don't know. Whew, I'm getting hot in this sweater. I literally had like 3 like executive producer is not this. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, and then reiterated the same thing. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, and something that I feel like people are getting a bit wrong, and it's a little annoying, is that the book was not famous when Justin bought the rights. It blew up, and I had to double check, and Gemini did say this correctly, but in 2019 he bought the rights. In 2021, after, with the pandemic and book talk or whatever, that made it a phenomenon. So, and in 2022 is when it sells millions, and then it was like big. So he wanted this book for what he saw in this book, not because it was big. Blake, allegedly, my opinion, wanted to be part of this book because of how famous it was, and it's like, oh great, you know, I don't have to try. Oh yeah, I want to talk about the 3 stages of love bombing according to the DSM-5, but I wanted to try to find my DSM-5 book. Yeah. Because I really stand by what she did was like love bombing on a technical sense, allegedly, my opinion, my brainstorming hypothesis, because it's idealization, if I can pronounce it, excessive praise, constant communication, soulmate rhetoric. Like, oh my gosh, this is like, remember like the early text messages towards him while she was calling him a clown? Like, we're gonna do this, and like this movie will be great because we both care so much about it, and like selling him on his own movie. Anyways, and then devaluation. Once the target is hooked, the love is withdrawn to punish or control them. And then discard, the final stage, when the manipulator no longer finds the target useful. What did happen? All of these 3 in sequence, like the textbook. Like, what the heck? And Ryan did that too, to an extent, as far as like the praise and whatever. But like, she once like she got the ability to cut her own cut, to do her own edit, she stopped talking to him. She would refuse to talk to him. They would have to communicate through agents or whatever. Remember that? So that to me was like, woo, that's not just like, oh, TikTok psychology over here. That seems very much like for real. So that's crazy to me. That's crazy. But again, allegedly, you know, my opinion, my thoughts, exploring ideas. Yeah. I don't know, whatever. I can't find the thing where yeah. And also some people cleared this up, some people didn't, with that text message or that voice note that Justin recently was released, where he said that he got the chills seeing the pictures from the fitting, that it was beautiful, or the outfits were beautiful or something. He never said that she was beautiful. Not that even would have mattered for normal people, but like he didn't even say that. So yeah, Anyways, hi Leo. Oh my gosh, hi. Just when I was like leaving, but please, if you've not like watched so far, please like um watch from the beginning. But yeah, so I'll be back. I'm not sure, again, I'm not sure when I'll be back, but what the heck, my okay, yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Oh, I'm not 3%. Wait, hold on, because I might lose you completely. We need to move over. Let me take you. All right. So I'll be back and to talk about what. Okay, so I did this so backwards. The hand that's holding the laptop. Whew, okay. The hand that was holding the laptop was backwards. Anyways, I'll be back covering the PJ letter, like read it all. That might be tedious for some of you. I understand that. Maybe other people have done it. I understand that. For me, that's important because it's also close to my interest in all of this, which is like filmmaking, being a filmmaker, acting, all that stuff. So, like the film world, And so, puyo, puyo. So I'll be back doing that. Let me get a little better lighting. Ah, nice little flight. I just scared them because a box dropped. And then we'll cover more things. But yeah, thank you for joining. And if you joined in late, I can't say make sure you watch the replay, but like I would highly appreciate, deeply appreciate it. I am pretty happy with this live. It's I don't know. I feel like I'm not the best at this, but like I'm happy enough to be like promoting, like watch the rest of it, or like skim through it at least, or whatever. Because yeah, but yeah. And if you're watching this on replay, thank you for watching it on replay, and I'll see you guys probably next week, unless some bombshell drops by Friday with all of these like meetings and things. So yeah, have a great night. And it was nice to meet you, Mia. Or have you on the chat if you've been here, but like in the bushes, as P would say. And Leo, nice to see you. Rose is Wild, April, and everyone else who didn't write into the chat but was here. Have a good night, and have a good night. Yeah, bye. Oh, and happy Valentine's Day. For whatever reason. Like, yeah. Right. Bye.